Florida was really good, played really well. They got a terrific front line. I thought their guards really stepped up. Our plan was to almost dare those guys to beat us a little bit. We went under a ton of stuff, less ball pressure, and they're both really fast too, but try to keep them out of the paint. And did some things a little bit differently that didn't necessarily help us out, because I thought Flan and Lee really stepped up, made big plays, hit timely shots, and Isaiah Brown was really good off the bench for them as well. Ruben obviously gets 20 rebounds, dominated the paint. And they did a really good job collectively defensively. Stayed extended. They don't allow a lot of threes. They don't allow assists. Their ability to guard the ball one-on-one at a high level collectively 1 through 5, and even the guys off the bench, was on display to where they make you they force you into playing isolation at times and putting your head down, and because obviously, again, they're extended on shooters, and they just did a really good job of one-on-one defense, especially deep in the paint with wall-ups and physicality and forcing some turnovers. I thought in transition defense they were phenomenal too, where we had 4 or 5 long rebounds there in the second half trying to chip away at it, and maybe 2 or 3 turnovers where we've got numbers, and their backflow actually forced us into more than 1, maybe 2 or 3 turnovers when we've got numbers. So they earned it, and 8 assists for us is not enough, of course. The one positive for us, we kind of we grew a little bit, get beat 20 at home, and just trying to give you some positive and give our guys some positive. I thought we threw our bodies around and tried to compete on a glass.
Coach, you guys did a good job limiting Florida on the boards. What does that say about the work that y'all put in over the last few weeks?
I thought that was the biggest positive. Kareem Stagg was good. He showed what the potential ceiling he's got. He's got some skill level, some talent. But biggest positive, our guys knew this one could get ugly on the glass if you're not prepared to battle and give up your body. And we've had some tough losses where we just get dominated on the defensive glass. Our defensive numbers obviously are very poor. But it was better tonight. Now, that said, they made 50% of their shots, but 9 offensive rebounds is a little bit of growth for us. But they were much better in other areas than we were.
Mike, obviously, it's difficult as a team. You kind of have to dig out of some of these early holes that you found yourself in these last 3 weeks. You did against LSU, came out for a win.
Yeah.
Tonight, they come out 10-0. Y'all maybe a little bit discombobulated maybe to start the game. Just kind of what happened, you think, at the start of this tonight?
I haven't had our urgency in transition defense was really discouraging. I haven't seen that from this team, not to that extent. Possession here too, but we're giving up dunks after makes. We're giving up dunks when heck, it looks like our zone is set, but we got 1 guy jogging or 2 guys. We're going to fix that. And the early stuff, the floor balance was really poor early. Just attention to detail, just not focused on the right stuff. Shot goes up, and we've got guys that are not putting anyone on blast. I'm not going to do that. But we got guys that's our job. We've got to be more accountable than that. Again, they did a really good job off of turnovers, sprinting back, matching, forcing turnovers. We got our crowd yelling for us. Big made 3 or a dunk, and then we might have 3 guys sprinting and 2 guys jogging. And it's just not a recipe for winning. These guys got winning experience, of course. We showed it at halftime. Some of it was the way that we started with that lineup. To your point, Dash, so that'll be evaluated. Saturday, we'll do our best as a staff to figure out how we can get off to a better start. And if that means playing the 5 guys that are going to bring the most energy, that look like they got energy at pregame meal, I don't know. But you got to sprint up and down the court in this league to have success.
Hey, Coach, obviously you're missing Jeremiah Wilkinson in this game, and the quality that a player like that brings to a team, and this team in particular, can't really be overstated. What do you miss most about him in situations like this? What was missing most from your team tonight that you think he could have brought to the table if he was healthy?
Probably our best isolation player, our best guy, especially against teams that are super extended like that, that force you to put your head down. His speed, of course, getting to the rim and just getting layups. I mean, he's got a unique ability at 6'1", even at this level. Just very rare to just put his head down and go get a layup, right? So maybe he gets 3 or 4 of those in this game. When you get off to a tough start, he's also a guy that just plays with an incredibly high level of confidence too. But we had 10 good players out there, and they all had opportunities, and some of them did some good things, and some of them did some things that we just got to get better at.
To follow up on Jeremiah, do you have a timetable on getting him back?
No, I do not have one. Mm-mm.
You mentioned you like the shot selection against LSU, one of the
Yeah.
lowest field goal percentages tonight. How do you build that consistency?
It's just a different defense. And LSU's got a good defense. Florida's got an elite defense. When they're defending the way at the level at which they defended tonight, there wasn't a hole. There wasn't a weak link. Their physicality at the rim, the way that they move their feet laterally, their connection. And again, there's not a drop off when they bring those bench guys in. At least the way I see it, their staff may say something different, but I don't think we forced any crazy ones early. And they made us play to late clock a few times, especially in the first half. When it was a double-digit lead, was our shot selection perfect? No, but it wasn't. That's not what hurt us tonight at all. I thought. So I guess to answer your question, it was really good at LSU. Maybe not quite as good tonight, but definitely wasn't one of our bigger weaknesses tonight.
What'd you see from Somto? He went down hard a few times in this game. He ends up with 2 rebounds. Just what'd you see from his game?
We got to keep him upright a lot more. He's got to continue to learn how to. He's going through a process where he's at a different place in the scouting report than he was a year ago, and even early this season. And the level of competition, of course, and physicality and depth up front is different with a lot of these teams, especially Florida. And so he's got to play through that contact. He's got to find a way. His ceiling is higher than 2 rebounds, of course. And that said, they're coming at you in waves with bigs in Somto's defense, and Somto's got to. He is the focal point of our physicality. He's the guy circled on the scouting report that he's their big, strong, tough guy. He's got to be bigger, stronger, tougher, but we got to help him too.
Coach, against LSU the other night, I saw that you were willing to make some tough decisions when it came to the starting lineup. For instance, you benched Somto, who had been struggling, and I think he's kind of took that to heart, and he's been playing a little better. Do you think that maybe some more tough decisions as it relates to who starts or who gets minutes might have to be made to, I guess, give the team a little bit more of a jolt and get you guys out of that slump? How do you approach the issues like that?
Coming off a win, we just got beat by a team that's playing as well as most teams in the country, so it's not time to freak out. It's not like we played. It's not like we played out of character. Again, heck, we played better on the defensive glass than I would have anticipated. If you asked me before the game, if you give up 9 offensive rebounds, you feel decent about being right there at the end. Yeah, I would have felt good about it. But Somto also was sick, is why we didn't start him in the last one. But yeah, starting lineups for us, especially as you get later in the year, and you struggle with the start, to Dash's point earlier, and then struggling with some second half starts too. Very open, be dead honest with you, with changing some things up. So we'll evaluate it tomorrow and Friday in practice.
Last 2 questions.
I'm sure you haven't looked at Oklahoma yet, but what is just the challenge of playing a team coming off of a midweek break and also coming off a big road win?
Yeah. obviously you wish they were playing on the road tonight in Alaska and flying home, but that's more than once we're playing these teams coming off these breaks. You give Coach Mosier and her staff more time to prepare, which is a tough recipe because they do a great job. And I've seen them just a few times live, and talented and versatile and fast and playing at home, and we'll have to play really well.
Just kind of moving forward to Oklahoma, with what Kareem was able to give you guys tonight, is that something you guys will evaluate, maybe him taking on a bigger role in the lineup moving forward?
Yeah, maybe. It was funny, Kareem's biggest struggle this year was in Gainesville, and so he comes back, and this was arguably his best game. So I think everyone in our program probably looks at him a little bit differently right now than a couple hours ago. He grew up a little bit, and that happens with freshmen. And then if you can string together 2 or 3 of those in a row, and there's always a step or two backwards, right, as these guys go through their process. But he took a step forward tonight.